Hey, y'all, this is Niver and my show, Niver Niverland. Today I met with Ed Porter. Came in for dinner the other night here at Moochie's, and I met him out to lunch at Grocer's Table in Wayzata, and we're fast friends. I think the thing about Ed that I realized was he was, in the way that he is creatively as a chef, a musician, a dad, he was looking at me and helping me unlock things within myself to see me differently. We were mirroring each other in a way and pushing each other on, like immediately after getting together. And to be vulnerable as a human right away, to hug a person right away. It was just such a great, like, human interaction. And I knew I had to book him for this show immediately. Today's episode is about people or a person or us or me and our vulnerabilities, what we can unlock in ourselves to become a better person, to be creative in a sphere where you're not worried about what the reaction to your creativity is, and just being. So today I was just being with Ed Porter, and it's a really cool show, different show, and I hope you like it. Thanks for joining Niver Niverland. It's like we've known each other for a long time, though we really haven't spent a lot of time ever together.
Absolutely.
And then when we got together in Wayzata the other day, I saw him like, oh, damn, that is Ed Porter. I don't know. I felt your energy. No, you know, like I'm reading people all the time.
Yeah.
And because I'm going to put on the face I need to when I'm at work.
Absolutely.
And when I'm not at work and I'm going to meet you, there was no face so much as like, I felt your energy so I could match it. Right. And it's just so much fun when somebody comes in with that high level, it's an open conversation. Like immediately there's a friendliness, there's an amistad. Real easy to get to know you. And it's a pleasure, dude.
Thank you.
This is Ed Porter. This is Niver Niverland. We're at Moochie's today.
I think I sat like right here.
Yeah, you sat right here.
Yeah, right here.
The other night. And you can't, you know what? Also that you would take the time, you know, you don't live close, that you would take the time to come and eat before we were going to record. Like, you didn't tell me you were coming. You weren't asking for anything. You were just like, we're going to go.
Yeah.
Beautiful, man. Thank you so much. It's a gesture to show up at somebody's place unannounced, not call attention to yourself. Yeah. I really try to, walk humbly everywhere I go. There's no expectation of anything from me. I just want to be in your joint. And that's how I felt.
Yeah. That's just me. Like I'm about honest, pure connection. Right. Mm-hmm. So either you have it or you don't. And, it's true. Like I'm not about trying to force,
Cokes,
exactly.
Whatever.
I don't have enough care and want to try to keep up facades like that. Shit's tiring. And the one thing we don't have is fucking time to waste. And so I don't want to waste your time. I damn sure don't want to waste my time. And when I have a genuine connection with a person, I've lost a lot of people to know that I don't waste time expressing that. So when it's real, I try to cultivate that as much as possible because it's so not common, right? If COVID has taught us anything, is to make the best of all the moments, right? And it's usually you find the most joy in the little ones, right? So so.
That's being present so that you can enjoy it when it's happening. You can see it. Yeah. You can feel it when it happens. That's the openness. But you start your day with them. You start your day and you can decide. Yeah. You can decide what you're going to be like today, even if you're feeling bad, because you're understanding that you're not feeling great, but you can decide, like you like put that in a little carry-on with you and just stow it. And you got to go but you can do it. The strength to put what the struggle is to the side, to persist and to move on. What is it is that what struggle adds positively to life's equation?
I think so. I believe so. Here's the other thing. We're all electric beings, right? So I think we are everything. Sound is vibration. Nothing happens without movement. And so when you recognize that how you relate to the things around you that are also moving, when you find that frequency that you jive with, right? It's an easy thing. Like you just know it, right? It's a feeling more so than anything else. However, I think people don't cultivate that feeling. Like you can reproduce that in our line of work. So when we're at our best, we're just recreating the same thing over and over. It's this monotony, right? And you're going for the pursuit of perfection. So I want to create this dish this way 100% of the time. Not Mark used to say that shit. Like this guy, it wasn't talking about me at the time, but this guy can do like whether it's plate 5 or plate 5,000. They're exactly the same.
Is it Nils?
Yes.
Was that fucking Nils? Seriously? Because he can.
Yeah, no. That's his superpower. Nils, that's his superpower. Oh my God, I got some stories about. I have stories about him. Oh my shit,
I know who you're talking about just when you say it, like in that spectrum, because he was in Aquavit, Minneapolis. Yep. When I got there, he was doing. I don't know. They vetted me pretty hardcore. They brought Mats Eric in. They brought Philip in.
Yep. Philippe.
Okay, he's from here. Philippe.
Yeah, Philippe.
And but he brought like wow, and so that's an interesting thing, man.
Yeah. So when you realize that, okay, if that's a favorable outcome you're looking for, right? You want to feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with the fucking people that make you feel that way. I mean, we overcomplicate everything. Like it's like a good antidote to that is, the restaurant business. People say, it's very simple. It is a very simple business. There are a lot of X factors that complicate it, but I think operators and chefs muck it up too, because all these things that don't really fucking matter. Like, dude, it used to be good food, good service, good location. The location doesn't even have to be great now. People will seek you out.
I've never put my restaurants in a good location, basically.
No, but it doesn't really. I think in your sense, in your instance, you have the ability to become a fabric of the neighborhood because you grow with the neighborhood and you're bringing something that the neighborhood does not have. So you are more so ingrained into the fiber of what that place like we were at now.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure that the locals feel that way. So I'm
just starting to sense that. I'm not allowing myself to sense that.
Yeah.
People tell you sometimes, like you walk in the back door at the beginning of the day and you provide tempo and energy for your staff. You say hello, you to everybody, and then people come in, and then you get a sense that they can transfer that energy onto the guest. And it takes time for the guest to kind of understand our cumulative energy as a joint. And it's just, when you close a place, people tell you more.
Yeah, yeah.
They tell you more. They're like, oh, this was this, and this is what it meant to me. And we had these parties here.
Right.
Gosh, it's hard to like captivate that along the way, but it's really a beautiful thing. You get the essence of it all together, and you provide that temple for them. And then ultimately they say, thanks for being part of the neighborhood.
Right.
We had a woman, one of the stories I posted, a woman who lives in the neighborhood. She's like, I don't come here much, really can't afford to, but I got to say, I love how you treat the neighborhood. Yeah. She walked through, it was dark out. The lights were kind of beaming. The patio looked beautiful. And she's like, thanks for being in our neighborhood. It helped her have a certain sense of pride. And to me, that is it. I don't know, like that's kind of like, okay, I did do something okay. Like you cultivate the garden, everything grows up. There are seasons.
Yeah. That was your payment for the day.
That was my payment.
Yeah.
It was a slow day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, our energies collide in a really nice way.
Absolutely.
And it's really a pleasure to have you here.
Likewise.
So we were both associated with Marcus Samuelsson back in the day, but we should start before that a little bit, because you have all these facets. You have these things that you do that people don't We don't always contain all of it, but music was really your thing.
Yeah. Music is what is my first love.
Fuck that fly. Sorry,
yeah, I mean,
I didn't mean to.
Listen,
You say that again.
Great energy, and flies want to be a part of it. So anyway,
Maybe we'll talk about that. I don't know.
No, so yeah, music was my first. It was my first transportation device. As far as I always felt that, like, I would stare at album covers for, like, my parents had an extensive vinyl collection, and I would, like, for hours just look at. I was mesmerized. First, how did these sounds get on this piece of plastic, right? And then I would look at just the artwork and the images, and then once I got of age to be able to read, I would read the liner notes, like, cover to cover. Like, that was my first comic books. And then I was just amazed by, the sound, and just the different sounds. It engulfed everything I did. And so,
in a variety of music.
Yeah, variety, everything.
So they implanted numerous things in you, helped you have numerous angles.
Yeah. You know how, so, like, for me, I was always a stimulus kid. So watched a lot of TV, of course, growing up. So, like, I can pretty much dictate moments in time by what I was watching, what I was listening to, sure. And also what I was eating.
Eras. Yeah,
yes. Eras, snapshots in time. Like, I can, like, literally talking about it, I can see it, smell it, taste it, and hear it. Like, and I see in those types of colors and shapes and things. It's I always thought of myself as weird, so music was.
You always thought of yourself as weird?
Yeah, it was different. Like, most of my friends, and I stopped, because I felt a little different, I stopped even expressing some of these things because I'm like, oh, this, the facial expressions I would get when I say, like, yeah, so I would keep a lot of that to myself. It wasn't until, like, literally, I just, in the last 8 to 10 years, really got comfortable with just being, right? Like, 100%. Like, there's a part of me that always had a lot of, I didn't give a shit about what most people think, but there was that part of me that I felt that was so oddballish that, you just keep that little weird shit to yourself. But my approach to even food and in the arts and how I move with people is it's uniquely my experience, and that's only because of the shit that I've done, right? And so I use this analogy. So I had a starter that I actually started here. And I took it from here to the Bay Area. I took it from the Bay Area to Houston. And the bread that I made with that starter, bar none, like, you could, it was so unique, made the best bread, That's how we are as people. Like we are a culmination of life's experiences and the people that we come in contact with. And not saying that if you don't travel, that you're not going to be an enriched individual, because the mother dough for boudin doesn't leave San Francisco. It's still great, but it's maturing by the day. But if you should so happen to put a person in different environments with different people that have cultivated them in some way, shape, or form, they kind of develop these unique characteristics. And so,
with time,
yes, with time, experience,
little heat applied,
absolutely,
little humidity,
absolutely,
a little,
absolutely.
like whatever that environment is around.
And I mean, and then that's how the different idiosyncrasies happen. But the more that I traveled around, the more I saw that we are more alike than we are different. I've been all over the planet, man, and so, like, we're so much more alike than we are different. And if we just stop to, instead of pointing out the differences, celebrate the differences. That's the spice. So, every culture has a chicken dish. Every culture has a rice dish. Every culture has a pasta dish, right? The only differences that change is the ingredients that are readily available and the method of cooking. The act is the same. It's for nourishment and to feed loved ones and yourself. That will never change. And so when people realize that, at the core of it all, that we just are that human instinct to connect We're communal people. If COVID taught me one thing, that all of the complaining I used to do about, oh, I fucking want to deal with, it's just those people I don't want to deal with. There's certain energies that I would rather not. But to say we need one another, and these mediums to connect like this is, these are necessary for, this is human, innate human, things.
So you said, sorry, it just made me think of, like, you said something like 8-10 years ago, and how you're becoming yourself, 8-10 years ago, where you decided to say, I'm going to leave all whatever negativity anybody could give me behind, even my own. I'm going to go beyond myself and create and be damned.
Yeah.
What
flipped
made
the switch?
What flipped your switch?
Mortality. Like, I've had a couple of awakenings, I would say, in life, right, to date. First one was having kids, right? That was, life was a lot more bigger than myself. I had people that depended on me, and that sense of responsibility made me grow up. Honestly, it probably saved my life. I was, I had 0 kids in the world, and it really wasn't focused. That got me to focus. The second one is losing people that you love, right? And so at the end of the day, I think we all are all trying to bottle up these snapshots. That's why we're talking about the photography, right? Those snapshots in time. We're trying to, collect all of these moments, hopefully, that are favorable and that we love with people that we love. And, we're making this movie, that we don't know when it ends. And hopefully we were the stars in it to a point to where we got our point across with the people that we love. But I don't want to leave anything up to chance. I want to be extremely intentional and purposeful with the people that I care about and the things that I'm doing. And so I set out, I was on a war path, it's more about legacy than anything else. So I want people that I love and care about, and things that I love and care about. I want there to be no question about that, based on how I treat them and how I'm living and moving in those spaces. So that was it for me. I'm like, I don't have time to.
So you had loss.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So that loss told you basically what you needed to know. It, in the face of that struggle, in the face of, maybe finding grief for the first time and trying to handle that, that's what spurred you to become yourself more intently.
Yeah. I mean, and the other thing is this. So that wasn't my first stints with loss. Unfortunately, growing up in New York, lost a lot of people a lot of times. That became, I was actually numb to it until it hit close to home, right? Yeah. And so that was, when you start losing close members of your friends group, and I'm not talking about to violence, I'm just talking about like to heart attacks and shit like that. Like I was always the youngest guy around. I was always the youngest guy in the kitchen. That's just who it was, right? And then one day I woke up, I'm not. I'm the elder statesman now, all of a sudden. So like, oh shit, like things have changed for me, and I'm closer to the proverbial end than I am to the beginning. And that realization, like, oh shit, like, okay, the fuck have you been doing? Like, what? All right, you need to leave this place better than what you found it. If for nothing else, for your kids and then anybody you come in contact with. So that
snapped in.
Yeah.
And that was the point where after that, you started creating. You started saying more.
Well, I started sharing. So
I've
always been creative.
It's always been here and kind of left aside. And then now you're like looking at, you got to back out, put it on the table, and we're like, all right. So
I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was at a corporate event, and he basically, we were just sometimes where you just, certain things, you just said this a minute ago, there's some things you just need out of that day, like certain parts of things that come across your table, you hear. So I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was talking about a conference, a work conference. He's in tech sales. And he was like, one of the speakers said, done is better than perfect. And that shit hit like a ton of bricks, because I am guilty of anything that I ever do. I always see how it could be done better. I just see the flaws. I see all the flaws. And so I am perfectionist to a fault, to where I failure to start, right? So it's not ready yet, it's not ready yet, it's not ready yet, it's not ready yet. Well, yeah, every single thing that we know to be great right now started as something completely fucking different. You know, Lamborghini was a tractor company, bro. Amazon sold only books at one point in time, right? Learn on the go. First to market. Done is better than perfect. You'll figure that shit out. And sometimes you need that energy from certain people that won't know otherwise. You can't. We're creating in a vacuum, and because you're so innately close to it as a creative, it's hard to send that kid off to school to be, to just deal with life and be in an environment the way you can't control it. And that was, even as a chef, it's the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing to do as a chef, is to, okay, I'm going to compose this dish, and it's up to, discernment is not ours. Like, we can create all we want, right? But taste is perspective, right? At best. But I'm going to have enough. This is my mindset on this. And you don't get to have this conversation. So there's no conversation. All we have is a blurb on the menu. That's it. And we send this dish out. We, hey, interpret it this way. And you hope that, that doing that in real time with like everything, it was a difficult process until I heard that statement. And then that's when I kicked it into full gear. But like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to put this stuff out, and whatever comes of it, comes of it. I had zero expectations. But I know for me it was a must. Like, I had to, it just had to happen. And so the beauty of that is that no one can take it back, right? And it's forever timestamped.
Yep.
It's like a photograph, right? And so, and people that, the other side of that is that people that resonate with that, or it resonates with them, it's cool, right? And those who don't get it, that's fine.
You can't worry about it.
It's not for them.
I one of the things, it's weird, because one of the things I saw, it was 1995. It was Pronto Ristorante in the Hyatt Regency, back when Manny's was across in the hallway. And I moved here from Colorado, and I was serving, and one of the things that, I was thinking about Manny's. And I was like, oh shit, I need one. I remember the way that they were serving us there. I lost my spot. Ed, what were we talking about just before that?
I was telling you about just the feeling of all those different things coming to a head.
I fucking lost my spot.
It happens.
Okay, so you had loss. It was the spark, that's part of the struggle. Mm-hmm. And then how did you focus after that? Because you have to turn the light gets turned on, and then you make a decision.
Yeah. And
then you started sharing.
Yeah.
And then did you feel like the feedback was what you want? When did food come into this equation? When?
So one of the people that I lost, our connection was through food, right? So my grandmother, and excuse me, it's funny to find out, like, different people have different relationships with other people, right? What I found out later in life is that my grandmother, we used to cook together and bake bread and go pick muscadine grapes down in Jacksonville, Florida, and all these different things. I used to go see her in Florida pretty much every summer. My grandma, my mom, and my aunts and uncles, like, your grandmother didn't cook. Like, she made reservations. She didn't, but she did with me. And I realize now that she saw that was something that I gravitated towards. So the women in my family during any holiday, I admired the power that they yielded. Like, to be able to take, these mundane, normal ingredients that you can get from Pathmark or Wallbonds or whatever store it was in the day, and transform them into lifelong memories. Like I wanted it. I wanted that power. I just did. And so, I graduated from resident cheese grater up to just trying to learn and do things. And pretty early on, I was just amazed by that. So I wanted it. I never equated the two, music and food, being the one and the same, as far as they're very symbiotic in a lot of ways. And that is what drew me. I was always a kid of the arts. So like I always, like Bob Ross is my personal painting teacher. Like so I was just an artsy kid. Like anything to do with that, what I didn't understand then, what I understand now is that I love the ability to be able to morph moods. So however you want to feel, there's a song and a dish to help you get there and keep you there or move you somewhere else. And same thing with a painting or a drawing or a photograph. They all do the same things. That's what I love, that ability, and like with Bob Ross, like those, painting the happy little trees and this landscape, right? So like I'm sitting imagine this. I'm sitting in the Bronx in my apartment, and I'm watching these beautiful mountain landscapes, of which I have physically never seen. I was amazed by it. I'm captivated. I got good enough that, remember those little drawing tests at the back of like the books?
Absolutely.
With the
Reader's
pirate
Digest?
Pirate in the fucking turtle, right? Yeah, okay. So I took those tests. So I got some scholarships to go to art school because I was just, I was that. But
you were in it.
It wasn't what I wanted to do. Like I didn't like structure. And so I like to do things, but I wanted to do them on my own accord. And that's just probably the artsy guy in me. But when I realized, I kind of just fell into food, bro. I don't even really have, like, Marcus left a message on my answer machine at the house. Like, one, I'm dating myself. Nobody even knows what an answer machine is. But this was super duper. I have no idea how he got my number. I was not.
What?
I was not that guy.
He called you out of the blue?
He called my house, left a message in the answer machine saying that, and this is 96?
That makes sense.
95, 96?
That tracks.
Okay.
I mean, from what I know.
Yeah, 95, 96. Your resume was, I had no resume, by the way. Your resume was on my desk. I need you to come down and stage. I didn't know what the fuck stage meant. Right? I had zero clue.
You were just coming down.
I went.
You were like,
I went to the library and found out. I found out. I did my research. No, idiot. But they're like, okay, it means work for free. So I'm like, I mean, divine intervention. Again, to that point, to be honest, that was I worked at a Ground Round, which predates Applebeas, right? And you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that
worked at the Ground Round, and I was, Yankee Pyros. Hey. So, as a server, a host, and then I got in the back to work the microwaves and fryers. Like it was really, there was no, yeah. So I had no knowledge.
That type of resume on Marcus.
I don't
Nielsen's
even. I had no. Listen, I never even made a resume. I don't know. I do not know to this date. I would love to talk. I'm sure if he remembers, I have no idea how I came across. The two worlds should have never collided.
Man.
And so when they did, I went faking until I made it. I went in there and like, one, I showed up. I didn't have knives. I had nothing. So then I went to Caldor's. I bought like a little $15 knife, $10 knife. And I went to the same library. I found out, look up the word stage. I bought a knife cut book. And I, also ordered a sack of onions, a sack of carrots. And I went and got surgical on it. I figured out how to do all this shit with this one knife. And I just kept showing up. And I did that week. And then he offered me a job. I'm sure he saw through all the bullshit, but I kept showing up. And he gave me the opportunity. And even in that moment, it's like you don't know what you don't know, right? So I didn't know that I was punching above my weight. I just kept showing up.
He just gotten 3 stars?
Or before.
It's before the 3
stars.
stars.
Yeah, it's before.
Oh, good. I mean,
so, yeah,
he's like this too.
Exactly. So he was 25, I was 17. So And then shit explodes. And even still, I'm oblivious, right? And it wasn't until the first book deal, and we was doing stuff on the book. We did a couple of beer dinners.
In Smakresa?
Yeah. And so
I can't believe our lives are like, I know this timeline.
Yeah.
I mean,
and so okay, that's when I decided, like, you know what? Marcus used to always say that I was good with my hands. Like you're good with the design. So I would design the plates. So like we'd have the gravlax plate, and it would be mustard sauce. There was a red wine one, and then there was one we dyed with squid ink. Like I would make these like flowers on the plate, whatever. Very early 90s. Anyway, so
still,
and he was like, "You're good with your hands. Good with your hands. You're like, I wish I could do that." And so then stuck me in pastry. I did that, and then that like blew my mind. The day that book came out, this is what I want to do, because I saw it in real. I saw the progression in real time. I'm like, it was it was unfathomable. It was not my guidance. This wasn't in the guidance counselor book of shit to do as a career, and I'm here, amongst this savant at his pinnacle, at the ascension.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it in real time. And I saw myself in him. The possibilities to me were endless. It was bust wide open. Even now, I would tell Marcus, he knew I did music and I played basketball. I was just, he was like, "Oh, just give me a tape. I'll pass it around to people." He was always never, condescending or downplaying. And then, I decided then, and then I knew once I found out that all these dudes know each other, like, all these guys.
I know.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Okay,
and Marcus
cool.
Samuelson, I am amongst even like the early kings in New York. This is when Mario had a life there. This is when
Alexander Smalls.
Food was blowing
Von George
up.
was right on the other block.
Yes.
I mean, like, so.
Our access to food was blowing up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so when I found out, okay, this is the Mecca, You
realized it.
I realized it early. And so I sat down, like, he said, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, I want to be a chef. I want to be great. What do you want to specialize in? Everything. Right? So he made some phone calls, sent me over, and then I started to do. I would work 6 days a week, and on my 7th day, I would work for free anywhere of a certain class.
Yeah, sure. You wanted to learn.
Yeah.
You
And
knew
so
then
I
what
knew,
a level was.
I knew that the one thing that I had is time.
Did this draw your musical?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This probably, it just pulls on every little thread when you're allowed.
Absolutely.
And somebody shows you something in yourself.
Yes. It was such an awakening for me. And I was just growing exponentially in a very, very fast rate. I did a stint over with Alexander Smalls at Café Beulah, and then opened up Sweet Ophelia's, in Soho. And I worked with some great people over there, Walter Hines and Marvin D. Woods. That was one of Marcus's buddies. I stars at Le Bernardin. I was everywhere. And this was all before I even set foot at CIA. So
what made you go there?
CIA?
Why? I mean, you're in a kitchen.
Patrick Clark.
Okay.
So
tell me more.
Marcus sent me to go talk to, at the time again, I didn't know, the illustrious Patrick Clark at Tavern on the Green in Central Park. So I go to meet him.
I interviewed there too.
Yeah. It's that shit is intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking massive.
Yeah, it's massive. And so I go, and I go to meet him. I think I was supposed to meet him at 2. I show up at like 1:30. And I waited for 2.5 hours. Then he sat with me for like an hour though. And he was just saying, "Okay, what do you want to do? Cool. You got to go to school. Until you go to school, none of this makes sense. Yeah, you can learn all you want to learn, but you got to go. You got to go." So I'm like, I guess I got to go, right? So I didn't realize the juggernaut that he was, or what that even meant, to get an hour of Patrick Clark's time at that time and that day. And this is during the lunch rush, by the way. So listen, so I remember I sat there.
Lunch rush is like until 4.
Right. I went. Supposed to meet him at 2. I waited 2 hours. It was 4 o'clock. He sat with me for an hour.
Till dinner.
Yeah. So I'm like, this is
massive.
Again, I didn't know what that meant. And then to speak to somebody of his caliber that took time, he, again, green as hell. That is what I'm like, okay, I guess this is the steps.
So CIA at the time, like people weren't off the culinary school train yet. And CIA at the time, and still really is kind of the pinnacle of places where you can be taught actual technique.
Right. Yeah.
Looking back, is that the right move?
Yes and no. So this is, I believe any schooling, you get out of it what you put into it, right? And so if you go on with now obviously there are some institutions that have prestige, and CI is one of those places that has prestige. But if you are not going into that with the right mindset, you're wasting your time and dollars, right? I was learning why I was doing what I was already doing, right? Which was a lesson, but I will say the red blue pill for me was Intro to Gastronomy. So that was that one book changed my whole life because it taught me why and how to manipulate these ingredients. It was all science. And I always loved science. That this and this makes this. Like, okay, the difference between being a chef and being a cook is the fact of being able to follow a recipe or create one. Like, and to bend the universe at your whim with these ingredients with some know-how. That
did you learn to taste then?
So I always had. Now, mind you, I was just talking about. So because growing up in New York, it's this melting pot, right, of all cultures and all foods. My palate was already. I've been training my whole life, right? Because there's this.
It's a complete advantage.
Exactly.
Because because it's not like a one note thing, man.
Yeah.
Like you got flavors, you got textures, you got stuff from all of these in the Bronx, especially.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's so crazy. So like I was just saying, some of my best friends were Jewish. I've probably been to more best mitzvahs than most Jewish kids, right? Puerto Rican, Dominican, Jamaican, Italian, of course. I think everybody talk about Little Italy in New York. It's Arthur Avenue all day. Anybody whoever doesn't know. Go to Arthur Avenue. It'll shut down anything you think of. But it's you can get the best of all these different things. Like it's right at my fingertips. And because I have friends that I would go to my friends' houses and we'd eat. I was eating all these things anyway, right? So my palate was already, and then now we're gonna throw in.
Now you know why.
We're gonna throw in a smorgasbord here. Now I'm eating Vastabotten cheese and shit. So I'm like, again, I wasn't scared because I was used to, the sample.
I love Vastabotten cheese.
Oh yeah,
those little crystals in it.
Listen,
that's like my favorite little crunchy, like out of a cheese that I've ever had. You get the honey mustard, herring, the matjes herring. Pickle fried herring is my favorite. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Except when I had to make it. Pickle fried herring was delicious. All of those different things, had I don't know if I could have been the person that I want to be if I had not been born in that environment. Because I would have been, even I have siblings that are so close. I have the palate of a fifth grader, So I was just always willing to try, right? And so that all served me well. Where stuff really collided for me and with food and music is that I would make songs out of the recipe so I can remember them. That's just something I did. It was my secret superpower. And when I realized that the basic makeup of any structure, let's take a bread recipe, you have these foundational building blocks to make a bread. You have to have your leavening, you have your structure, you have your flavoring, all these different things. Same thing with the creation of a song. A song has You know, you have your verse, you have your bridge, you have your intro if you need to, you have your chorus, all those things. They can mix them up, but they got to be there. And to me, that it just seems so the same for me. And being able to utilize that base knowledge in the food world, it just worked for me.
Magic.
It just worked for me.
Yeah.
And so I was cultivating my musical prowess at the same time with food. And so, yeah. And
talents lift each other. Like if you're in that mode.
And the two guys were always separate. Like either you knew that I did food or you knew that I did music. The two guys were never in the same room at the same time, because where I was at the level that I was at and just fortunate to be in, if you weren't all in on that, you weren't looked at the same.
That's right.
So you
they know. They know.
You had to be 100%.
You cannot hide from these guys.
Yeah,
you're their hands.
Yeah,
they're not going to ignore you. He saw your hands. Exactly said it. Yeah. I know your hands. Yeah. I see you here.
Yeah,
like you're talking. Flavor comes from your hands anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is it's a really beautiful thing because this is early still.
Yeah. Very early.
Right? You get through school and you're like, okay, you go back to Patrick. Not really. But you go back and you're like, okay, now I have this technical knowledge. You have this musical knowledge. And then you started to put these things together in recipes.
Mm.
How did you keep that like aligned as your career changed, as you learn more?
It was, again, I just, I wish I could say that, I knew this. I just didn't get in the way. I just, blind faith 100%. I just, like, even the fact to come here, like, I had no intentions on ever leaving New York. I didn't see a reason. I don't see why. Like, why do I leave Disney World? Like, everything I need is here. Like, I can get to the airport in 15 minutes. I'm like, I got everything. Like, I can, I don't even want to go to Jersey. The best thing about New Jersey is the view of New York. Stop it. Everybody knows. So I had no interest in leaving. And the best thing I ever did. It was the best thing I ever did. It was the scariest thing, but I wasn't even scared to do it because I was leaving with people that I work with. And like, it's 2 months. I can do 2 months. And I'm on my New York salary. So I'm like, I came here. I was a McMillionaire. Yes. I live 1150 Hennepin, right downtown, 6 blocks to work. I took a
in
taxi.
The corporate apartment.
So yes,
I've been in that.
Yep.
A lot of people have been in.
So that was I started that. Like that was the first person in there.
And this is the beginning of Aquavit. 96.
No, this is 98. So 97 is the start. 98 we opened.
Yep.
But the first tenants of that apartment, that was in my lane. That was me and Ross Greenberg, and Kinsley John.
Oh yeah, Kinsley.
Yep. So that was us, and then they left. I stayed, and then I moved from there, and I moved over south, and
you worked with Noam.
Yep. And then, then who else came?
You got to know him to know him.
Yeah. No, so I mean, and the only reason I left Aquavit, because I had my first kid, and I needed insurance. I need insurance, and I need benefits, and I went to the Renaissance. No, right on, what's it?
Radisson?
Radisson, yeah. Now it's the Radisson Blue, I think now. But it's right across from where TGI Fridays, and then
Goodfellas?
Right there.
And then wasn't Lenny Russo involved?
Yes.
At that time?
Yep, at that time he was. So John Lynch, who's the chef, who's the executive chef.
Oh, yeah.
He did a dinner at Aquavit.
Yes.
I helped. Okay.
I remember of this.
I helped out in the dinner.
Oh,
he was
yes.
Like, hey, you want a job? I got benefits. He knew the game, and so I'm like, yeah, because my plan was to get done here, go to Lyon. That's what everybody did. Go to France, do a year, come back, write your own ticket. kids threw a monkey wrench in that. I'm like, I need to take care of now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that changed the complexity of things for me, but it also kept me here. Now, what the Twin Cities is enriched with that most people don't know is this is an artsy place. Like
It is.
it's very, very
You might have to look beyond a little bit, but
Yes.
There's so much creation here.
this is a creative paradise.
Yep.
And like Prince said, the cold keeps the yahoos out because they
Smart.
And so like I found people in the music scene, and I cultivated that. At the same time, I'm working and taking care of my family. And yeah, it wasn't doing exactly what I wanted to do, but it was probably the best thing for me. Grounded me, gave me some purpose. And again, just the ascension was there. But this was, Minneapolis was a formidable part of that, the creation of who you see today at that time. I don't know how things would have shook out. Things would have shook out differently had I, just did my time, cut out, gone to
Stayed
Europe.
on that track.
Yeah, that track. I mean,
I was on that track.
Yeah, and and that's what I said I wanted. That's what I thought I wanted to do,
Yeah.
and that's what I probably would have done had different things not taken place.
I love the idea of traveling with work and wanting to do import export out of college. Speak Spanish. I've always wanted to be. I love where I'm from. I'm probably American or whatever, but I've always wanted to be from somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to go there and kind of whatever. My career is marked by the fact I think that there's an inobtrusiveness that I was taught. Like in the back, you're trying to do what you're supposed to do, but you're being told until you get to a level of respect where somebody says, "Okay, show me what you can do," and you play a thing, and then they're like, "Okay," and then you're moving on. For me, it was a matter of being inobtrusive. Like the fine dining for me was don't be seen, don't be heard, be inobtrusive, be imaginary.
Right.
Don't call any attention to yourself. That was beat into me for years.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to hear your story because as it never stops happening. It's one evolution into another if you're allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
But for me, like some of my education was not about expression.
Yeah.
It's about the lack of it. And it wasn't always guest making. It was about making guests for the chef. Fine dining takes a total personality out of the equation when
Absolutely.
it's a chef run or whatever.
One band, one voice.
One band, one voice. I'm in the fucking band, man.
Yeah.
I was the leader of the band in the front. And I really loved that. But it didn't help me. It didn't help me become fully myself because I always kind of naturally sublimated to service. And it wasn't like to people, but to the service. I sublimated to the service and to the chef for so long.
Yeah.
And I had creative, but it was like, here's my restaurant. That's
Right.
the chef. Here's my restaurant. So I'm the one that's like putting all this shit together, but you don't at the end of the day, have your full stamp on it until and I'm just starting to take some control of myself, to be honest.
Well, you have to realize now that you are the brand, right? So
that was exactly it. That's a fucked up realization.
It is,
It doesn't even feel good.
No, it's actually very daunting, but it's the reality. It's the reality, and I think even in that, even for me, we live in the same realm. I think that I saw the fact of the differences in my own unique voice had to be the case because I had that music background. So it's the hardest thing as a creative to come in contact with your own unique voice. We're doing these things within a system to be part of the system, part of the team. How do you step out of that shadow, especially if it's a looming one, to have your own viewpoint and your own story to tell in a unique way that people want to hear? No, I think really it is. I think for me, I can tell you what my vision in it is.
Yeah.
Is just I'm just a culmination of different things, different people, and different techniques that I've accumulated over time. And there's certain things that I gravitate towards and different people that's been very impactful in my life. You know, your Thomases, your Nils, your there's so many.
I love Thomas.
Oh, Thomases. I've never seen anybody break down fish faster than him ever in my life.
Sure.
Like ever. I'm like,
And
dude,
clean too.
yeah. Oh, my dude is amazing. These different nuances of skill sets that you gravitated towards, and that was like the pinnacle for you. Taking bits and pieces. It's a very hip hop approach. So this is why. So I'm a kid of hip. I grew up in the Bronx in hip hop. Hip hop was born out of necessity and lack of. So there was no instruments in school. Ironically, I went to John Philip Sousa Junior High School, which is famous band leader, right? The first thing to go out of that school was the music, which is crazy. But anyway, out of necessity, hip hop was created. The culture decided to make use of other musics to make music, right? And so sampling is a way of paying homage to something, to take other works, to put them collectively in a unique and creative way to make something completely different that cannot help but pay homage to the original. In a lot of ways, that's my approach to food. The homage for me is, I'm just a creative storyteller, right? So I'm telling the story of, first and foremost, the ingredient. The farmer's attached to that because without the farmer, there's no ingredient. And then based on knowledge, the story of how that came to be. Why is that important? Why? You know, why does this exist? Why is okra a thing? And the significance of that. And all I'm trying to do is not muck it up, right? My spin is that story based on my experience. That's my voice. Mm-hmm. I learned that from Bob Dylan, honestly. So innately, these things, I think everybody has their own unique viewpoint. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of stick-to-itiveness to follow that voice and be brave enough to put it out there, not knowing what the reception will be.
So you don't, what Rick Rubin says, you don't do art for anybody else.
Nope. 100%. 100%.
You do it for you, and if somebody doesn't like it, then
Fuck.
Fuck.
Or as they say, whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-doo. Yeah, there's like you know, a certain humility built into myself. You know, do people really want to hear what I have to say? You know, like I do, like I care about that. Yeah. And yet I have a voice. I see a culmination of like the years of efforts and people like coming up and being like, thank you for being around. I feel all of that. And yet still my evolution is so incomplete that I get to, as a positive, decide still what's going to happen for me. And I think, you know, Dinette closed and there is, you know, like a time of like letdown, and then we hit summer, and I honestly feel like I was just going to get away and go on a big vacation so that I could reset. And now that I'm back, and even while I was there, I got a couple of texts from folks I haven't heard from in different, you know, like the hotel industry. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, I've been talking about that, you know? And so I really do believe that what you put out there, you get back. And I need to practice on not worrying about that. My story is love. So, you know, like things that have love and are filled with emotion are what matter to me.
Period. Well,
and I just need to embrace it because I embrace it everywhere.
Absolutely.
It's so hard to share it. It's very vulnerable.
Oh yeah, you have to. Yeah, that's
very
the key.
Vulnerable. Love is hard.
Love is very hard, and receiving love. I just made a post about this the other day. Receiving love is the hardest thing to do. Like to feel like to feel worthy enough to allow yourself to be loved truly it's a scary thing, and it's a very vulnerable place to put yourself.
Yeah.
But it's a necessity. Like that, you until you are able to allow those things to come to fruition, can you say that you really lived?
Yeah. I don't know. I kissed Matt on the cheek. I hadn't seen him in 3 weeks. And I kissed him on the, like dudes don't do that.
Yeah.
Ever.
Right.
But I gave him a hug and I just gave him a smoocher on the cheek because I fucking love him.
Yeah.
I can't do that. But when I saw you,
Yeah.
you stood up and I'm like, whoop, we knew.
Yeah.
You know, those are the connections I need. I think that will help me more become myself and share more of that vulnerability.
I don't think you need to become more yourself. You just need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are who you are.
Sure.
And not saying that you're not going to evolve. I think we all evolve at a certain point in time and continue to evolve, right? But it's hard to see the forest through the trees. Like you are an entity of itself, and people gravitate towards you because of who you are. You know, there's a difference between being useful and being misused, right? I think we've all been in a place we've all had shitty jobs where we were misused and mistreated, right? But that doesn't mean that we don't make ourselves useful still, because the people that we need to connect with that feed our soul, you never know when those times those instances are going to happen. And if you remove yourself from that equation, you're cheating yourself out of life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I feel like I have. There's a lot of give.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm open to that, you know, for me. Like everybody's working on something still.
Right.
Like, and I know who I am. Like
Right.
I do. Like I thank you for that. I just need to be and not worry about those things. And honestly, it's just even being silly.
Yeah.
I'm a silly motherfucker. You might not know I am silly. I'm dancing with the mop in here, you know. Like, just sometimes I just don't. Why don't I want people to see that? Why don't I want people to see that?
There is this sense of having to be. You started this conversation with this. There was this is that
Fuck.
you don't have to like. It's why I did the podcast the way I did it with Gavin, because most people don't know that he's a riot. He's fucking hilarious. He's funny as shit. You know,
He is a riot.
He's a riot. And if you don't know, you don't know. For me, I get so much out of seeing that happen in real time, and it humanizes him, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's easy to put him here.
Absolutely. It's very easy. Yeah, he's pinnacle, right?
Superstar.
Exactly. But dude's he's a real person, and he's hilarious. He's all those things. Yes, and he's also one of the best chefs in the world. Yeah, he can be. You don't have to be a monolithic person, and that to me, that was important for me to. Now it's an easy thing to do for someone else. It's hard to do for your fucking self. Like I know how to. I can talk to you about you for hours.
Hell yeah, man. No, we were mirroring the other day.
Exactly.
And I was like, this is kind of hard. Dude's like, oof, you know, it was a long conversation, not a bad conversation, a really good conversation.
Yes.
But I knew that we would have an exchange like this.
Yes. And that's to me is the magic in intention, and knowing that a person is really there for the betterment of you. And I just want, I got your best interest at heart. Once you feeling that sense of comfort, then you can let your hair down, right? In my case, proverbial hair. And just be, right? And I've gotten to this point to where if I can't just be, I'm not fucking doing it. I've seen enough shit happen to people in the state of this world. Like, I don't have time for if I can't just be. That's why I say my motto and mode in life right now at this point in time, I'm just trying to do cool shit with cool people. And if I can't, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not fucking doing it because I don't have to. We don't have to. We've all done enough shit to where we felt we had to. We had no other recourse. That wasn't the case. We just weren't open to possibility. I understand that what I put out is what I read back. And I don't do shit for the sake of getting something back. My get back is actually how I feel after it's done. It's like Christmas for me as a father. The best part of it for me is is seeing my kids fucking joy, period. There's no greater feeling than that. I get to do that every time I make a plate of food, every time I have a song, every time I do a film, every time I record a podcast. I get that instant gratification in real time. There's no greater feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not ever not chasing that.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, I don't, as I say this, kind of to myself, and I hear myself, and you're saying things back about just being like, the work is just important too, right? Like you can get lost in it. You can get like rolled up in it, but I wouldn't want to be without it. We talked about, we were talking about opening another restaurant. I'm like, absolutely fucking not. And then an opportunity popped up, and I'm like, I opened.
Circle back, right, yeah.
I almost opened it.
I'm like, what are you gonna do? Like, if you don't, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? If you don't do that, what are you gonna do? And it's not that you are what you do. For some very few people, their DNA is so closely intertwined with what they do that it kind of becomes your identity, right? And then if you don't have that, who the fuck am I?
Some of that has gone through my head. It's been diminishing for me, like, and not negatively so much as, the plan for me was one restaurant was not going to be able to sustain me. So I need 2, 3, 4, 5 to make what I want, and then potentially have future. Well, that was going the right way.
Right.
And then it just slowly dissipated over the last 5 years. So now I'm kind of left with, in a way.
Yeah.
But until I'm left with it, this was all decidedly good too. Like it all worked out really well. Like I could be in financial ruin. So I know I did a good job. I know everything I could do over all these factors. But I'm now kind of like, I started this out of the desire to be creative and also stay relevant. But like I'm left with a space, and things do rush in. Absolutely. And so this has been a period of kind of trying to keep the space empty to see what fills. And some of that has been around here, like me grabbing and feeling comfortable with sponsors and what my ethics are with who I work with in that way. And how does that look to my restaurant folks, if I have a sponsor of this, but also I'm filling my cup because now I see that I can talk and I am that guy. I have been that guy, but like I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't even trying to be.
That's the other thing. So that's the magic though. So you don't put it on in the morning.
No. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. But that's the magic. So the one thing you cannot fake is authenticity. You can try. I mean, people can see through it. Like you can't manufacture authenticity, and you can't have authentic moments with people if you're not being authentic. And if you were so happen to be, the greatest thespian, you can't keep that shit up. Like eventually there's gonna be cracks in the infrastructure. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna go sell used cars and I'm not gonna feel weird about it. I love used cars, dude. Like I do. But you gotta
eventually there's gonna be cracks in the infrastructure. Like what the fuck happened? So I don't see that part of it is you have to understand how people receive you. And not that you should worry about that, but when you take up space, wherever you are, people want to be around you because of the positive vibes that you make them feel. With that being said, do not let motherfuckers drain all your energy, bro.
Yeah.
So that one thing about that's a lot. I'm still in school on
It's
that
a load,
shit. Because
yeah.
I it's the one thing sometimes you gotta fucking say no. Right. And you may want to do it all. You can't, because you have to leave some in your cup so that you can eventually pour some out.
Yeah.
Right.
I talk to other people, like you said, about a cake, you know, and
Yes.
every day you're given a piece of cake.
Absolutely.
You have a whole cake at the beginning of the day. I talk about it a lot. And thank you for mirroring to me, because sometimes you just don't see it in yourself. It's so easy to give and give, you know, like give good advice to everybody but your own. And sometimes friends don't even help. They just let you, they don't always say, hey man, you know, you all right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like we really need to. This state in particular is not. I ain't from here. I'm from New York. This state in particular is hard to break through the shell. Then we've had things like Floyd and COVID happening, and I just. It really it's like something in between me and everybody else that I didn't put in front of us. I just want that to go away for this state. Nobody hugs anymore.
Yeah.
People don't roll in the restaurant. Like, you know, I'm ready for that. Like that should return, fam.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of weird loss and skepticism and distance.
Everybody's a lot more apprehensive with being their true 100% authentic self. And so a lot of times you're meeting the representative, right? And so, right, and it's true. You're meeting the representative of who they think that you want them to be, right? And instead of, I call it the LA effect, and I don't say that, and I don't say that to be mean, but
we know
New York is the exact polar opposite of LA.
Yes, it is.
Like in 30 seconds, you know how a person. How you react and counter react with another person in New York. In LA, everything's a sale. Everybody's doing something. Everybody's important, and it's all about how can I use you to step on your back to get where I need to go. Fucking hate that shit. I despise it.
Yep.
Because in New York, you could be on the subway with multimillionaire and the guy that's cleaning his floors. Arm to arm, holding on to the banister on the train. That's real. You will never come in contact in LA with those two. They don't meet usually ever. And so the mindset is different for people. Here, and COVID did this worldwide, so it's not just a here thing, but here there was always a barrier to entry anyway. It's very cliquish, and people usually stay with the people that they went to school with, and then they have their own little circle, and they don't usually travel like that. When I first came here, and I came over to St. Paul, and people were like, "Oh, you went to St." Like it was another damn country. Like, you know, it's right across the river, right? Like it's not even a far. Like you can get anywhere proper in 25 minutes.
F train from whatever to Midtown is 25 minutes.
Exactly.
Bro. Like, you know,
I'm like, so the fact that like I know people to this day that live in Minneapolis that will never cross the river. You're cheating yourself. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
I don't want to rip on Minnesotans either, but because I fell in love with what. And I am still in love with what Minnesota offered me.
Absolutely.
And you know, like that I'm still here is kind of amazing. I don't believe I will end up here because I don't believe I'm from here, you know. Right. I'm not even from New York. But I think this place is like there is some genuine nature to it. But also just there's I think it's called the law of Janta, where there's a lot of deciding not to be noticed because that you're not trying to be special.
Right.
You're not trying to be different. You're trying to mode with everybody. What I really enjoy about this conversation was, and you know, this is a conversation amongst relatively new friends, but I think there's a little bit for dudes here, and connection. I think there's a little bit for evolving paths and accepting things as they come to you and realizing maybe the messages in them. There's the ability to be present with someone and feel connected and making friends. I think there's, these facets that we talk about together, like the different parts of us that are molding us into, how we act. You wrote music around a meal, and you did mise en place all the way down to, the middle of it was like this, like crescendo of feeling, and then you ended just so nicely and calmly, but you gave a little something special in each course, and life is kind of like a multi-course menu.
I gotta do this for you.
No, that's great. No. I create editing nightmares just by being here. Oh, shit. This is it. This is the mise en place, walk the line, at your service, sweet life. Love that one.
Yeah, thank you.
And then you're getting into, you can, like, it's course by course, you can see the flambe coming.
Yeah.
Clarity, I have to probably study a little bit more, but when I get down to Calistoga and understanding, like, like where you are in your life and the music too. Yeah. It's cool, man.
Yeah, this
is beautiful. Thank you.
And I'm gonna, so I just hot off the press, I did a limited run of vinyl, and this was to have at the dinners that I was doing. So the Day Zero experience.
Zero.
Yeah. So I didn't expect to sell them. I didn't think people would be interested, to be honest.
Oh, it's dope.
And
it made me think of Big Night. It made me think of, like, I don't know, like those soundtracks and meals, Buena Vista Social Club, Gypsy Kings sometimes. Nora Jones back in the day was like a brunch music. Like, she was like everything for morning coffee.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? But this is
a timepiece too. So I did this for the 50th year of hip hop. So everything was purposeful for me. So everything down to, a fine dining experience used to be 12 courses. That's why there's 12 songs. And so there's the audible and the edible. I planned to do this album. I wanted to have these experiences where food bloggers will be blogging about music and music bloggers will be blogging about food, because you couldn't separate the two. And food and music are always paired together, but never in an intentional way. Never. And this is the melding of my two worlds, like in real time.
It's beautiful.
Like everything about it, like even the so my whole universe is food, music, and culture. This album cover represents that. There's a knife, there's a mic, and then there's a book, right? It's a paper toque within that. And then if you look really closely, there's music notes, ladles, spatulas.
It's really fucking cool.
And so it's and I made this for me. And it was important that, I opened with my mom's voice. It was all these things.
Your mom?
That's my mom.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah, it was very important. That's my mise en place. Everything in this place. And so, and then I
gotta listen harder. Like, I'm slow to pick up. But
and I ended with thank you, my grandmother. That's what my mom was at the end. My mom was talking about my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, and that song was dedicated to her. And the other voice was my wife's uncle talking about her dad, whom I never met. And so, so thank you was to them. So this whole entire project was very, again, near and dear to me, and done is better than perfect.
So yeah. But it's what it is, and that's really it. That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Good for you. Just a whole bunch of stuff that you've done that I feel like I need to mention. You are on Pressure Cooker, on Netflix, your podcast now, Taste Music, Hear Food. That when I first read it, like I read things like I don't like always pick up fast. Yeah. But I was thinking about it in the way I'm like, that is a fucking excellent name. It just, especially with who you are, putting the taste, like putting senses where they don't belong with other things, or where they do belong in that order. Like hearing food. Yeah. Tasting music. You make that.
Very much so.
That's beautiful. And I love like I say, these facets of you, like that you expose for everybody. You are multidimensional, dude, and it's inspirational for me. Like that's why I wanted to get with you. Like now we met at like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, let's do this soon because I feel it. And I really appreciate it. I need you to be here to talk me through some of me too.
Oh, no.
So I don't, I invite you here, all respect. And I think it was because I needed to feel what you had to say about this. And with that mirroring we did was really important to me as a human.
No,
it was good.
Very much a give and take thing. So I agree. Again, like I told you, you were the first person I reached out to. I wanted you to be my first guest on the show. Because especially when I came back here, I got back here like during the pandemic, like right before, like as it was kicking off. And, I think we all were going through it. And when I finally decided to do a podcast, I wanted to be 100% on my accord. And like, what can I do? What voice could I bring to the market? I mean, it's a lot of people out there doing podcasts, right? So what can I do differently that the masses can't? This is why I did the album too. Like, what can I do that the average musician can't? Yeah, nobody can do that. Like, it's about a 30-year curve. So
yeah, no, I felt that. No, that's a beautiful thing.
So the energies that we exchanged, like instantaneously,
click, sir.
Can't manufacture that.
Can't manufacture it. Yeah. And so, and I feel like we could close here, but I guess that's it. When you see another human and you feel something, acknowledge it. When you see somebody and you can feel that human, they're probably doing something important that you can learn from. When you feel that energy from somebody else, it's very much worth reaching out, grasping that hand, extending your arms, taking the hug, and learning about somebody.
Absolutely.
Really enjoyed this.
And in that, you learn more about yourself.
I don't know. Yeah. I didn't talk about shit on here. We just talked about being human.
The beauty of it is, I'm not going any fucking where. So
another time.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you left the other night, you're like, let me do this. I'm like, no, we have another time.
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Hey, thanks for helping me see like my own vulnerabilities and accessing those as strength. Like, I see you, dude. I don't have the struggles you have. I don't have the grief you have. But the lessons you learn can teach me. Absolutely. And I'm just having access to it at a really good time.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Chef. It's good shit, dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ed Porter, multifaceted entertainer, podcaster, musician, artist, filmmaker. I said it all. But this guy, really nice to be in your sphere, dude.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for allowing me in.
You're in.
Yeah. So thank you, Ed Porter. And maybe there's another one here for us.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure. We could really, listen. I got in my head a little bit, and that's cool. I really
no.
You
bring
that out of me. You bring it out of me, and there's just a lot more someday. Maybe in this format, maybe as a collaborative format for another thing. I would love to work with you again.
Listen, I'm here.
Dope.
I'm here. I'm so down. Cool shit with cool people.
Cool shit with cool people. Let's just go be, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Ed Porter.
Thank you.